the recording. Yeah.
Okay, so session 622, October 18th, 1972, 9:40 p.m. Wednesday. It is funny, I am still waiting for the session, Jane said at 9:35. By then, we had been ready for 20 minutes. I had not really expected her to have a session tonight, but then was my belief influencing reality? She had delivered a long and intense one Monday night, and in Tuesday's ESP class, I'd been in and out of trance all night, as she described it. This meant for about 3 hours. My God, this meant for about 3 hours. Sumari had been dead too. Jane's energy high for some time. Hold on. Let me. I later. I'm in a session. Achana. Okay. Uh, Then at 9:30, Sumari had been included too. Jane's energy has been high for some time now. Then at 9:38, she said, "At last, I feel safe around. We will have a session after all." Let's go down one more page.
Do we say subtly he has introduced the topic?
Mm, correct.
Just in one line. But then, was my belief influencing reality? He's going to
Belief in
speak
principle.
like it sounds like it is going to be on telepathy.
Yeah. Belief influencing reality. Correct.
Yeah.
I feel safe around. We will have a session after all. But it must be very tiring at home. 3 hours going into trance is not easy.
I know.
Now, good evening, Seth, and we will begin with dictation quietly. You also communicate your beliefs to others, of course. When visitors enter your home, they do not see it exactly as you do because they also view it through the screen of their beliefs. In your own environment, however, your personal beliefs will usually predominate. See, that's what F1, F2. Always, F1 dominates. Pause. People with like ideas reinforce each other's beliefs. You may meet with some misunderstanding when you suddenly decide to change your reality by changing your beliefs. According to the circumstances, you may be going in a completely different direction than the group to which you belong. See, yeah. According to the circumstances, you may be going to a completely different direction than the group to which you belong. The others may feel it necessary to defend ideas than all of you previously took for granted. In such cases, your beliefs merged. Each individual has his or her own ideas about reality for reasons that seem valid. Needs are met. When you abruptly change your beliefs, then in the group you no longer have the same position. You are not playing that game any longer. When you abruptly change your belief, then in the group, yeah. In the group, you may suddenly cease to provide for the others a need that you satisfied earlier. This affects both intimate behavior and, say, social interactions. Interestingly enough, we are already beginning to hear about such frictions developing, especially from members of ESP class as they work with the ideas in this book. Other people we see regularly have similar episodes to relate. For a time, then you may experience a feeling of loss as you move from one group of beliefs to another. However, others sharing your new beliefs will gravitate towards you and you to them. So that exchange occurs.
Correct.
I will say more about this later in the book, but it explains, for example, why a diet watcher suddenly determined to lose weight may meet with veiled or even open resistance from family or friends, why the person who makes new resolutions may find himself baffled by associates' ridicule, why the alcoholic trying not to drink finds others tempting him quite openly or teasing him into indulgence by hidden tactics. When someone who has been ill starts on the road to recovery through changing his beliefs, he may be quite surprised to find even his dearest allies suddenly upset, reminding him of the reality of his dire state for the same reasons. So, new paragraph. Because beliefs form reality, the structure of experience, any change in beliefs altering that structure, any change in beliefs altering that structure initiates change to some extent, of course. The status quo which served a certain purpose is gone. New elements are introduced. Another creative process begins. Because your private beliefs are shared with others, because there is an interaction, then any determined change of direction on your part is felt by others and they will react in their own fashion. You're setting out to experience the most fulfilled reality that you can. To do this, you have hopefully begun to examine you begin to examine your beliefs. You may want others to change. In doing so, you begin with yourself. That is like meditation. You start meditation when you feel good. You want others to meditate too. I told you in 619th session to imagine a game in which you see yourself acting in line with the new desired belief. As you do so, see yourself affecting others in the new fashion. See them reacting to you in the new way. This is highly important because telepathically you are sending them interior messages. You are telling them that you are changing the conditions and behavior of your relationship. You are broadcasting your altered position. Some will be quite able to understand you at that level. There may be those who need the old framework and someone, if not you, to play the part you played before. Those people will either drop out of your experience or you must drop them from yours. So, either way, not to have conflict. Once more, if you think of daily life as an ever moving three-dimensional painting with you as the artist, then you will realize that as your beliefs change, so will your experience. You must accept the idea completely, however, that your beliefs from your experience. You must accept the idea completely, however, that your beliefs form your own experience. Discard those beliefs that are not bringing you those effects you want. Discard those beliefs that are not bringing you those effects you want. That means the experiences you want. In the meantime, you will often be in the position of telling yourself that something is true in the face of physical data that seems completely contradictory. You may say, I live amid abundance and I am free from that, from want. I live amid abundance and I am free from want. While your eyes tell you that the desk is filled with bills, you must realize that you are the one who produced that physical evidence that still faces you, and you did so through your beliefs. So, as you alter the belief, the physical evidence will gradually begin to prove your new beliefs as faithfully as it did your old one. You must work with your own ideas. While there are general categories of beliefs and general reasons for them, you must become personally aware of your own. For no one person is completely like any other. For no one person is completely like any other. The old belief served a purpose and fulfilled a need. So that means you need to change. Old.
In your change management, that is one milestone generally missed out by people.
Yeah,
So we should be aware that we are changing. So there are going to be turbulent times in between.
correct.
And the moment we take that approach, our attention will shift to our new belief. And this is human nature when you are trying to change a habit, generally, because you are
Correct.
coming out of a comfort zone.
That's why the transition is difficult.
Correct. Very
But once you get, yeah,
yeah.
you must become personally aware of your own. For one, no, yeah. The old belief served a purpose and fulfilled a need. So that's why, even though you have so many bills and all this, but you should always, think that abundance, that's what he's saying, don't think of this Already the one you're facing
F1,
it.
F2. Beautiful concept. See, the F1, F2 is not Seth's concept. It is actually Barry's interpretation of Seth's concept.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, in that book he mentioned, correct.
Yeah.
And yeah, he actually, after listening to all this, he gave all the answers, isn't it? Yeah. As mentioned earlier, you may have believed that of itself poverty was more spiritual than abundance. You may have believed, but the previous belief, yes, abundance, or that you were basically unworthy and should therefore punish yourself by being poor. This is what we have gone through in Unified also.
Correct.
Yeah. So according to your energy, according to your energy, power, and intensity, you can help change the beliefs of many people, of course.
Mhm.
Can we make the screen larger so that you can have more matter?
No, this is the maximum size of the screen.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
It won't change because
Yeah,
this
yeah. In your
is a wide
physical
screen.
life, okay. In your daily physical life, you are usually concerned simply with changing your beliefs about yourself and then changing the beliefs of others hold about you. So, in your daily physical life, you are usually concerned simply with changing your beliefs about yourself and then changing the beliefs others hold about you.
Mm.
You will find conflicting beliefs within yourself, and you must become aware of these. As an example, you may believe that you want to understand the nature of your inner self. You may tell yourself you want to remember your dreams, but at the same time, still hold a belief in the basic unworthiness of the self and be quite frightened of remembering your dreams because of what you might find there.
Mm.
It does no good in such a case to bemoan the situation and say, I want to understand myself, but I am frightened that I will not like what I find. Contradictory. You yourself must change your beliefs. You must stop believing that the inner self is a dungeon of unsavory, repressed emotion. It does contain some repressed emotion. It also contains great intuition, knowledge, and the answers to all of your questions. Listen to your own conversation as you speak with friends, and to theirs. See how you reinforce each other's beliefs. See how your imaginations often follow the same lines. All of this is quite out in the open if you realize that it is.
See, here, my only suggestion is see, the other book that we picked up, the body conveying messages to us, this
Yes,
belief system, when integrated with that, paves your journey to recovery.
correct. Because you need to believe and you should not have any doubt.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that way it will help us significantly. See, I can only increase it, but
Oh,
then the
yeah, this is
font size
fine.
will
Actually,
go down. Is this okay?
yeah, this is fine.
Okay.
This font is fine.
Okay.
So every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better.
Hmm.
Oh, almost everyone in this society is acquainted with the old suggestion. Every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. Now, that is an excellent suggestion given by the conscious self to other portions of your being. The
Hmm.
results of such suggestion would also follow your conscious beliefs, however. Earlier, I used I am a dependable parent as an example of a belief in chapter 618 session in chapter 3. If you if to you this means I give great attention to seeing that my children brush their teeth, eat enough, and perform properly, then you will interpret the better and better suggestions in that light.
Hmm.
If the belief means to you that love for children is best expressed in those terms, if you feel that there is something embarrassing about expressing affection directly, then the better and better suggestion may only reinforce that belief.
Hmm. Hmm. Right.
Getting better means what you perceive. Yeah.
Correct. What is your better
Yes.
compared to everyone's better?
That is why you in Unified, he says, the higher purpose, your desire, the higher purpose desire.
Correct.
So, yeah, that is right. You may become more and more efficient in that manner. This is why it is vital that you examine your beliefs for yourself and understand what they mean to you personally. If using that example, you suddenly begin to realize your position and begin to express your love to your children directly, you may find them quite surprised, delighted, but confused. It may take them a while to understand your reactions, but as the old reality had a cohesiveness, so will the new. Cohesiveness. That means, like conflicting, old and new.
Now, are they integrated or are they conflict? That is the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You must therefore understand and examine your beliefs, realize that they form your experience, and consciously change those that do not give the effects you want. In such an examination, you will be aware of many excellent beliefs that work for you. Trace these thoughts, trace these through. See how they were followed by your imagination and emotions. If possible, look in your own past for points where recognizable new ideas came to you and beneficially changed your experience.
So,
Ideas not.
no. So, this means if you are wanting to recover from something, first
Yeah,
question you ask yourself is, what is that I believe in? Do I believe I am sick? Do I believe?
correct,
See, very similar to how the mind gets tuned. I want to buy a yellow colored car. As you are driving, your eye will be focused on noticing cars which are in yellow color. You will come home
correct.
and say, off late, I don't know what's happening. There are too many yellow cars on the road. Have you ever
The-
experienced that?
of course, yeah. It's not only a look, whatever, if a particular Honda car,
Hmm.
then you focus only on those
And then you change
models.
your perception saying, oh, there are so many of them I never realized.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
See, that's what mind game. See, that
But
is why you have that control. Yeah, you need to stick with it, what you want, for the higher purpose,
hmm,
and you know, and then narrow it down.
correct.
You must therefore understand and examine your beliefs, realize that they form your experience, and consciously change those that do not give the effects you want. In such an examination, you will be aware of many excellent beliefs that work for you. Trace these through. See how they were followed by your imagination and emotions. If possible, look into your own past for points where recognizable new ideas came to you and beneficially changed your experience. See,
Correct.
that is how, because of COVID, lot of people came into meditation.
Correct.
Ideas not only alter the world constantly, they make it constantly. Now, we are nearly at the end of chapter 4. I will give you both a rest and we will resume at our next session. My heartiest regards to you both. Thank you very much, Seth. Okay, next. So we'll be starting chapter 5.
Hmm. No, 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 not chapter 5. Here,
Or next
you don't find chapters as such. You find section, what session numbers?
session 623, October 25th, 1972.
Hmm.
Most of these are all nighttime, she's doing it.
Yeah.
No session held last Monday night. This afternoon, Jane began to experience strong feelings of relaxation. These lasted well into the evening. Also, while lying down before supper, she received the last three words of the title for this book. Oh, the last three words of the title for this book, The Nature of Personal Reality. So, pretty much, in this session, she got this. The Nature of Personal Reality, a Seth book. See the notes at the end of the Seth's preface, which we received as the 619th session on April 10th, 1972. Jane said she didn't want to postpone the session even though she felt so great, so much like just taking it easy. While we were talking about health in general, I wondered why so many people in our society wore glasses. I mention this here because the subject unexpectedly crops up in the session. Just before 9:45, Jane told me I could have material from Seth on the glasses idea, or in his book. Oh, Namrata, I'm stuck. Okay. Seth on the glasses idea are on his book. Both channels were open. I chose this book, of course. It is funny, Jane said, but I know that the next chapter is there in fifth. It is about health and sound. Inside sound and outside sound. Oh, there is inside sound and outside sound in the next chapter.
Mhm.
She proved to be correct, but at the moment she was unable to elaborate. The house was noisy temporarily. A carpenter in downstairs apartment was using an electric saw at frequent intervals as he repaired some of the damage caused by the last June massive flood. Seth's voice was rather quiet. However, good evening, Seth. Dictation. Let us go on to discuss the relationship between the inner self, your conscious beliefs, and your most intimate physical creation, your human image. End of chapter 4. So it's going to be relationship between
Oh,
the
you
inner
have
self.
organized the chapters also, you're right. So I
Yeah,
think
this
this
is
is a very important thing for us to understand, chapter 5.
correct. Inner self and conscious beliefs and the physical creation of your image, your human image. Yes.
Mm.
So, chapter 5, the constant creation of the physical body. The constant creation of the physical body, as mentioned in chapter 4, the conscious mind is a portion of the inner self. That part that surfaces, so to speak, and meets physical reality more or less directly. So, the conscious mind is a portion of the inner self, the portion of the inner self, that part that surface, so to speak, and meets the physical reality more or less directly. You are mainly concerned now with the physical orientation and the corporeal materialization of inner reality. Here, corporeal means physical, isn't it?
Yeah,
Physical reality.
physical reality.
Therefore, the conscious
Materialistic
mind,
reality.
realistic,
No, no, materialistic.
materialistic. Oh, yeah, okay. Corporeal materialization. Yeah, physical materialization.
Correct.
Therefore, the conscious mind holds in ready access the information that you require for effective day-to-day living. You are mainly concerned now with the physical orientation and the corporeal materialization of inner reality. Therefore, the conscious mind holds in ready access the information that you require for effective day-to-day living. Because always we think of only material things, that is what we are holding it. That's what he's saying. It
Correct.
is not necessary that you hold it in steady consciousness data that does not directly apply to what you consider your physical reality at any given time.
Hmm.
Okay, it is not necessary to hold that conscious data. It does not directly apply to what you would consider physical reality at any time.
Correct.
As soon as the need for such data, aid, information, or knowledge arises, then it is immediately forthcoming unless your own conscious beliefs cause a barrier. The exquisite, precise, and concentrated focus of your conscious mind is quite necessary in physical life. See, the exquisite, precise, and concentrated focus of your conscious mind is quite necessary in physical life. It is
Hmm.
because of this highly selective quality that you can tune into the particular range of activity that is physical. That focus is needed for that particular range of activity.
Correct.
So, otherwise, you know, it goes in different directions. In their own way, animals also possess this selective consciousness. They also focus their attention in very specific directions, perceiving from a vast general field of perception perception stimuli that is recognized and accepted in an organized manner. Now, the animals' conscious minds connected with their physical brains make this necessary selectively possible. Without it, without it, there would be an out of focus effect that would make physical survival impossible. So, certain portions of the inner self come to the foreground of being. So, to focus, always animals, so that animal brain, always, we have that new sentence.
Now, what he
Because
means
you're
by new sentence, new para, etc., is the same thing stated earlier in the
differently.
new paradigm.
Oh, in the new paradigm. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Because your mind in life is connected with the brain and the physical organism, it is automatically attuned to corporeal reality. And to some extent, of course, it ignores some non physical data that lies within and at any given field of perception.
Hmm.
Quite simply, it does not allow it into its organization perceptions. The data is then blocked out. So always because of your physical things we perceive, the underneath the underneath the
Even
reality,
if it is happening, even if you see it, you will ignore it. This is just like
mm,
the example of the yellow car.
correct. Because we are not focusing it on it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Again, this is quite necessary. There is some information and data that does not apply to physical reality. Some of it is perceived by non physical entities who organize it into their system of reality where it does have meaning, but we will not be concerned with it here. That is non physical. Yeah. While you are physical, then you will always be concentrating upon certain data to the exclusion of the other data. In other kinds of realities, you may ignore the physical system entirely, however, focusing instead upon those systems of existence that are now recognized within your own.
So,
So
yeah,
basically,
you will be not on the physical, but the non-physical part of it.
correct. In your present life, the conscious mind assesses physical reality and has behind it all the energy, power, and ability of the inner self at its disposal. In your present life, the conscious mind assesses physical reality and has behind it all the energy, power, and ability of the inner self at its disposal. Any information that it requires will be available. Its job is to assess that reality effectively using that fine focus mentioned earlier. Because of its character, consciousness, or the conscious mind cannot be swamped by too much detail, too much information, or because of its character, consciousness, or the conscious mind, it cannot be swamped by too much detail, too much information. The inner self sends to it only the information it asks for or feels necessary. So the inner self is higher self, isn't it? That sends only the information we ask for,
Mhm. Yes.
only very limited information.
Hmm.
Inner self
It's
sends
far
to
more
it.
specific. It is far more specific, not generic.
Yes, correct. So the inner self sends to it only the information it asks for or feels necessary. To a very large extent, then conscious beliefs act as a great liberators of such inner data or as inhibitors of it. Are you following me? So
Correct.
that
That
means
means, no,
then,
basically what it means is you got the ego mind, you got the real mind. F1, F2,
correct.
right? You
Yeah.
will go by what you see, the physical. Whereas the reality may not be what it is because your inner self, the ego mind, the chitta, right? And the manas, they both will always attempt to put you in your comfort zone. Because of
Correct.
that nature, because of their attempt to put you in your comfort zone, the reality gets ignored.
Mm. And you have that fear because of that. Yeah,
Correct.
the out of it. Yes,
You have the resistance. Resistance could be in the form of fear, hatred, all those Arshad Vargas is by virtue of fear.
correct.
Yeah.
Seth asked the question because of a prolonged burst of hammering from the apartment below. Okay, the conscious mind is itself developing and expanding. The conscious mind also it is expanding and developing. It is not a thing. It learns through experience and through the effects of its behavior. That is body mind.
Hmm.
The inner self brings about whatever results the conscious mind desires. So the inner higher, the real higher self brings about whatever results the conscious mind desires.
So
It does not.
the inner self will only throw the information at you, whatever you ask. You will ask under the constraints of your belief. You will ask under the influence of your desire,
Body mind.
right? And so that connection is always there. You don't realize.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does not leave the conscious mind at loose ends nor isolate it from the fountains of its own being. Because the conscious mind is part of the inner self, it is obviously made of the same energy, filled with the same vitality, and revitalized by the deep sources of creativity from which all beings emerges. So
Chapter 10.
basically, yeah. So he's saying that our mind or the conscious mind also made up of the same energy,
Hmm.
but has limitations.
Yeah. Kirti, do you see chapter 10 of you?
Chapter 10, no, in
Chapter
this same
10
book.
unified in
I
uni.
see all unified here, sir. It
Yeah,
started.
No, no. Why I asked chapter 10 is yesterday you were doing it in the Austin program, right?
Yes, sir. Strangely, I'm unable to utter the God affirmations at all. It's stopping from my within.
Ah,
This is happening a lot with lot of affirmations in a
correct.
unified.
Yeah. So this is a very important message. Even for people who are doing unified, should join Seth group. Amazing. Yeah.
you must understand that it is not cut off from the inner self. The inner self keeps the physical body alive even as it formed it. So that's why he's saying you must understand that it is not cut off from the inner self. The inner self keeps the physical body alive even as it formed it. The miraculous constant translation of spirit into flesh is carried on with inexhaustible energy by these inner portions of being, but in all cases, the inner self looks to the conscious mind for its assessment of the body's condition and reality and forms the image in line with the conscious mind's beliefs.
Hmm. What a
So,
message. Actually, as you are reading it, I am getting material for my afternoon diabetes management session.
oh, yeah, yeah. That's why he's saying, yeah, Seth is saying the miraculous constant translation to spirit into flesh. That is how the
Our
healing
Joe
is occurring.
Dispenza cycle. That is the Joe Dispenza cycle also. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That spirit, slowly passes from DNA and yeah, that's into different cells. Yeah. Carried on with the inexhaustible energy by these inner portions of being, but in all cases, the inner self looks to the conscious mind for its assessment of the body's condition and reality and forms the image in line with the conscious mind's beliefs. So it forms because of the mind's beliefs, it changes
Correct.
whole thing. So once more, You form reality through your beliefs, and your most intimate production is your physical body. Your beliefs about it are constantly fed into inner data. That is how, yeah, that's right. The Joe Dispenza says when it becomes autonomous, automatic, things once you get used to, the body becomes the mind. Your beliefs about it are constantly fed into inner data. You organize on an unconscious level the atom and molecules that compose your cells to form your body. But the blueprint is made by your conscious beliefs. To change your body, you change your beliefs. Even in the face of physical data or evidence that conflicts. See, this is, yeah, he explained in that.
Beautifully
The
stated. My entire
this is
recovery approach for the people is ready now. Yeah.
Yeah, these two paras are very important. Yeah, the top two.
No, no, these
You
two and also what he has said here. So starting with this,
mm, part of the
because
yeah.
your mind in life is connected with the physical entities and all that. Yeah.
You each have a body and you each have consciousness. You can practice with these ideas by applying them to your body. For now, we are taking it into consideration the fact that, generally speaking, you are not going to make yourself 5 physical feet taller if you are a grown adult already, because there are certain physical laws with which you must contend. We will discuss those more fully later. Of course, you cannot change your body figure after reaching, completely becoming adult age. In
Correct.
that context, when you can even appear taller and affects others if you were, which would usually be what you wanted in any case under the circumstances. But except for some conditions, which will be mentioned later, you can become healthy if you are ill, slim if you are overweight, gain weight if you prefer, or alter your physical image in profound fashion through the use of your ideas and beliefs. Wow. I think first page and this page is very, we can copy and paste it
I
in.
mean, I have to rewrite this summary in Telugu now. Google Translate and call one Telugu man and say, now you set this in this order.
Very
Amazing.
nice. It also coincides what we are reading nowadays with the how to heal our own.
Exactly. All books are leading to our this one. And the first practitioner who did it successfully is Sunni man.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
They form the blueprint by which you make your body, whether you have known this or not. They form means here the beliefs.
No,
Is it?
not believe these entire process that he has discussed. They form your body.
Here he says you through the use of your ideas and beliefs. That's why again he says they.
Correct.
So those ideas and beliefs. That
Ideas
means
and beliefs. Yes, both. 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 You are right.
yeah, those ideas and beliefs they form the blueprint by which you make your body, whether you have known this or not. Your body is an artistic creation formed and constantly maintained at unconscious levels, but quite in line with your beliefs about what and who you are.
So the
So you
Gulp experiment is highlighted here.
correct.
My
Because
God, the way the universe communicates with you, if only you were aware, every
yes,
single item, right? It has shown you a glimpse and then said, search for it. Now it has already given you the taste of it. Now it says, go identify with it.
correct, correct. Especially the book we just heard it step
Yeah,
by step. So you have given,
correct. I mean, it's amazing the way we are going through each book. Absolutely
especially
amazing.
this particular book. Even though we have gone through before, we never understood so deeply.
No, no, we didn't. See, Because we didn't have a framework to apply it. So you remember when I was sharing my experience in Unified also, my key takeaway has really been a framework of something that you want to achieve. That's the framework. You go through those as the ecosystem of your achievement. If I may say, that's the ecosystem. That's what you go through. But we hardly realize it.
Correct.
So Babaji said it through Unified and Roger Lanspear, and we are being reinforced with the same thing through Percival, through Seth, through various other authors which are coming in between and going out.
Correct.
Yeah. Mm. You
You
constantly,
constantly
yeah,
constantly
beautiful.
give
Keep
yourself suggestions
saying,
about your body, your health, or ill health. So subconsciously, without knowing, also we are giving constantly suggestions about our body, health, and ill health. You think about your body often, then you send a barrage of beliefs and instructions to the inner self that affect your physical image. As I mentioned earlier, your thoughts have a very definite vital reality.
mm.
Beliefs or
You could have
thoughts
added this
reinforce.
to your lecture. You can add it and keep it ready. This last line.
Yeah, your thoughts have a very definite vital reality, correct? See, that is why I used to say that before, oh, I have this particular allergy and this and that. Now, no, I say, no, no, I enjoy spring. I enjoy spring. And now I realized it.
Yeah.
Beliefs are thoughts reinforced by imagination and emotion concerning the nature of your reality. They are reinforced imaginations. Now, thoughts in general possess an electromagnetic reality, but whether you know it or not, they also have an inner sound value. So they're listening to it. All the
Mm.
inner parts
Messages of
of the
the
thought.
body. Messages of the body.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, thoughts still possess an electromagnetic reality, but whether you know it or not, they also have an inner sound value. You know the importance of exterior sound. It is used as a method of communication, but it is also a byproduct of many other events and it affects the physical atmosphere. Now, the same is true about what I will call inner sound, the sound of your thoughts within your own head. I am not speaking here of body noises, though you are usually oblivious to these also. So these thoughts also have inner sound,
No,
and
not
not only electro.
that. And that sound has got two paradigms. One is noise, the other one is real sound.
Correct. Inner sounds have an even greater effect than exterior ones upon your body. Oh, why? This is very important. Inner
Ah,
sounds have an greater effect than exterior ones upon your body. They affect the atoms and molecules that compose your cells. In many respects, it is true to say that you speak your body, but the speaking is interior. So we always think, okay, only by saying, but by thinking it has more effect. That
no,
is internal language.
see, that internal thinking also is a talk. It's actually a talk that is going on between the inner self and the conscious mind. Interestingly,
That's
I
what
think that is why the Bible, it
molecules.
says the word is most important. The word is very powerful. That is what is the inner meaning of word it looks like.
Correct.
Hmm.
That's why autobiography of Yogi also, he said the words are like bombs. You have to be very careful.
No, there's a lot of Christianity in what Paramahamsa Yogananda spoke about.
Correct.
A lot
Yeah.
of Christian principles.
Correct.
He came to influence here, right, sir?
Pardon?
He came to influence the West world, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
So he has those messages and is beautifully stated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same,
Same
you
kind of
find a
sound.
similar tendency in Osho's writings also.
And here he says pyramids. The same kind of sound built the pyramids. And it was not the sound that you would hear with your physical ears. Such inner sound forms your bone and flesh. The sound exists connected with, but quite apart from the mental words you use in thinking. So the same kind of sound built the pyramids, that is the thoughts. And it
Correct.
was not sound you would hear with your physical ears. Such inner sound forms your bone and flesh. The sound exists connected with but quite apart from the mental words you use in thinking. Wow. Amazing.
I don't know why now all these books that Patriji has suggested, it makes so much sense. One is
Yes,
reinforcing the other's belief.
correct.
The theme is integrated
Yes.
and it is in line with spiritual intellect is the root and physical health is the fruit. My God, Patriji, I can't say
That's
more.
all.
Yeah, yeah.
It might be noted here that Seth developed a group of sessions last November, December, and January to sum up the meanings and uses of inner and outer sound. That material was new to us and included information on the Egyptians' use of inaudible sound to help build the pyramids. Oh, so that included the information on the Egyptians' use of inaudible sound to help build the pyramids. According to Seth,
Interesting.
the Romans
Is there any
also
book on
employed.
the inaudible sound? Maybe there may be a book.
Just release the thought, sir. It will come to you.
Huh?
Probably it is going to come now.
Yeah, according to Seth, the Romans also employed such sound in erecting the enormous, truly awesome city of Heliopolis at Baalbek in what is now the Middle Eastern country of Lebanon. See the continuation of these notes at the end of the session.
No, not only
It does
that,
not.
there is a book, Sounds
Oh,
We
is it?
Hear, that
Wow.
begins. I think sounds may be inaudible. Supersonics, the science of inaudible sound. There are some books. Okay, worth considering for our next. Yeah.
It does not matter in which language you are addressing yourself. For example, okay, it does not matter in which language you're addressing yourself. For example, the sound is formed by your intent, and the same intent, I am putting this simply now, will have the same sound effect upon the body regardless of the words used. So only the intent that formed by your intent that forms the impression will have the same sound effect upon the body regardless
Just
of
a
the some
small
words.
pause here. Let's think. Kirti, Sudhakar, Hema, Lakshmi, uh, Ratna, uh, Sanjay, Chandra, right? When they are delivering,
Different ways they convey.
but
We all have
but
that effect. Yeah.
the messages we are getting, is it different?
No messages, yeah, they're same,
So the
but different ways.
messages is because of the intent.
Yes, correct.
Wow, what a topic we have been brought to today. My God.
As Seth Jane passed during her delivery, she evidently changed her mind about just what to say and how to say it. But usually you think in your own language, and so in quite practical terms, the words and the intent merge. So the terms, the words and the intent merge. In practical terms, the words and the intent merge. For all practical purposes, then the two are one.
Hmm. Or
When
what?
you
What do
say,
you say?
I'm tired, when you say I am tired, mentally you are not only giving silent message to yourself. I say messages rather than message because the general statement is broken down. Many portions of the body must be affected before you feel tired. But beside this, the inner sound value of the messages automatically affects the body in just that way. So I am tired. That means that all that intent always it goes into the body's language,
Hmm.
inner sound. What should you do then if you find yourself feeling tired? This is your conscious assessment of your body's reality at a given time. You want to change it so you do not reinforce it. Instead, you say mentally that the body can now begin to rest and refresh itself. Oh, you had to say the body can now begin to rest and refresh itself. So that is, we had to rephrase it. You take your initial judgment for granted, then without restating it, and instead suggest the remedy be carried out positively. So you take your initial judgment for granted, then without restating it, instead suggest the remedy to be carried out. You can, if the
See,
conditions were
no, which is
warrant,
interestingly, right? Any one paradigm of the physical ailment that he starts that other book with, he is only telling you the same thing. Whatever we are
yes,
reading here,
yes,
that is the lecture.
correct. Yeah, the positive. I mean, whatever the same thing you convert into
Correct.
positive way. Yeah. You can, if the conditions warrant, physically rest by lying down or making whatever adjustment seems appropriate. If none are possible, then several such suggestions that the body can refresh itself will give you benefit. To tell yourself over and over that you are tired, however, reinforces the condition. That means, yeah, if you keep telling the body
Correct. You keep telling the body reinforce, and that reinforcement will give it the necessary.
condition, the tiredness.
कहाँ पहुंच गए हैं आज तो बहुत ही बढ़िया.
The inner sound value of the countering suggestion automatically begins to refresh the body. It is fashionable now to think about noise pollution, yet the same kind of circumstances occur with inner sound, particularly when your inner thoughts are self-contradictory, scrambled at random.
Hmm. Correct.
Diverse, diverse and highly conflicting instructions are then given to die body. As you should know, the body's inner environment changes constantly, and it is you who changed it. The body changes also, you are making it. Change is quite necessary, and as a rule, the body's overall balance is maintained. But the directions that you give are often not clear or advantageous, and your beliefs largely determine the kind of information you send to that environment. So whatever we see in our circumstances, that those we form the beliefs. That's what we give to our body. The inner self always attempts to maintain the body's equilibrium and health, but many times your own beliefs prevent it from coming to your aid with even half of the energy available to it. The inner self always attempts to maintain the body's equilibrium and health. But many times your own beliefs prevent it from coming to your aid with even half of the energy available to it. Often, only when you are in dire straits do you open up the doors to this great energy. When it is much too clear that your previous beliefs and behavior have not worked, then only you try to open when the old beliefs did not work.
I also see biology of belief dictated in the Seth book inadvertently or advertently, we don't know.
See, biology of belief is more scientific way he explained it.
Correct. He's a biologist. This is the spirit that is explaining.
So let's go one more page down. You have at your disposal the means to ensure your health. My friend Joseph brought up a point concerning this before our session. He wanted to know why so many in this country wore glasses. He wondered if people unacquainted with glasses and suddenly introduced to them, they would develop a need for them, and they would. See, he wondered if people unacquainted with glasses and suddenly introduced to them, they would develop a need for them, and they would. Many individuals are given glasses to correct an eye difficulty at an early age. Left alone, in many cases, the eyes would correct themselves. See, this is the problem.
Hmm.
The glasses can impede any such self-correction by providing a crutch that further weaken eye muscles, for example, and instead fixes the condition. When you believe that only glasses will correct poor vision, then only glasses will. Instead, you must discover the reason for the belief behind the physical poor function or non-function, and if this is done, the condition will automatically clear up. Now, for most people, it is easier to get glasses. We will end dictation. Oh my God. See, now elementary school kids are more and more getting the glasses. This is
Because of
always
the
the nurse saying,
no. See, elementary school kids, that is because the parents believe that that is the solution, unfortunately.
this country nurse makes it. Nurse says, "Oh, you had, she's then sends a notice to the parents. You had to check it with the eye doctor, something." But that is how it starts.
I
It
know.
may,
And the self-correction is impacted because you're held there itself.
see, you are not giving permission for the self correction of the muscles. You're taking away that whatever supposed to do.
I think this chapter has more than what I expected. My God. We will be going into, and it
If
is
we go
too
into the
late
medical
for that.
profession,
I
then it
think
is
we will
too late.
also stop here, ma'am,
Okay.
because this is a good point for going afresh.
Mm.
How energetic is each one amongst you? This will take another 40-45 minutes.
How
The
many
answer
of
is
eight?
no, the answer is very, very loud, even though no one has spoken. I think we'll take it up as a next session,
Okay.
because this medical influence is a very, very
Because
important paradigm.
yeah.
And there's a lot of theory explaining that. No, it is the next two sections go around that.
Sentence. We missed it. Let's go a little bit up. To be healthy, he said something somewhere here upon the patient. Like, yeah. Um, somewhere I read a sentence. To be healthy, depending upon your belief, something like.
No, that is below, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Patient, therefore.
Yeah. Here. While you believe that only doctors can cure you, you had better go to them because in the framework of your beliefs, they are the only people who can help you. But the framework itself is limiting. And again, while you may be cured of one difficulty, you will only replace it with another, as long as your beliefs cause you to have physical problems. So
I
that
see
is,
that a lot in my house. Because for them, headache is equal to one tablet, cold is equal to another tablet, knee pain is equal to a third tablet. Some six varieties of tablet is normal in a day.
My God. That's why here he says, next para, now the same applies to what is frequently called spiritual healing. See, there-
He is doing the salesman's role of spiritual tablets.
yeah, think we should put all this, whatever we have read, this is very important for spiritual tablets.
I know. Beyond doubt. Great. I
So
think
chapter 5,
we will do
end
this
of chapter.
next portion.
So
And
basically, chapter 5 and end of chapter 4 are very important.
correct. Immediately after we stop.